this morning, but of course Nona left on her, mega vacation on Saturday, and she's.
Where's she headed? She's everywhere.
Well, they were flying to Amsterdam, and then it's a 14-day cruise around to all these various cities that she'll be visiting. So it's 15 or 16 days in all. So anyway, and this morning or last night, I had an email from Rick. Jan is in the hospital, and he said she passed out. So they took her. They found she was dehydrated, and they were going to do an MRI. So I haven't heard anything back. So that's where she is.
Did he say where?
He did not say where. I asked him to tell me when he had time. And of course, Shirley is also having some health challenges, and plus she doesn't have her driver's license because she missed her driver's license renewal appointment. Couldn't get another one until May 31st, so she's kind of stuck. And so we shall see. Since the Schwentz are all here, how is the house hunt going?
We're still looking. It's either a crime scene or a mansion. There's not a lot in between. I'm just trying to find that comfort,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and then somebody to take dogs.
Well, there is that, because I saw some places that say small dogs, and she doesn't really count as a small dog, but she just keep her hidden.
But we're on the hunt. But
You're on the hunt,
things are
okay.
Slowly but surely moving.
Yeah, I hear your house closes tomorrow. Your restaurant?
Supposedly so. Yes.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
very nice man. We met the new owner, and it's him, his wife, and his 16-and-a-half-year-old daughter. So
perfect.
it's being handed over to the girls this time.
Okay. All right. Okay, anybody else have anything else they would like to say, share, announce, ask? Yes, Joe? You probably won't be here next week. Do you want to give us a doctor's note? Or no?
It's flying train reunion from Disney at sea.
Oh, okay. A reunion of Disney people.
Disney.
Excellent.
It's the oldest club in Disney.
Oh, right. Excellent. You'll be here the one after, though, because that's Memorial Day, right? You're going to be our reader. Okay.
And, we're not going to Order of the Red Handkerchief.
The what?
Order of the Red Handkerchief.
The Order of the Red Handkerchief. I like that. That sounds good. Okay, well, happy Mother's Day, everybody. That's that's going to be part of our theme for today.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Yes, I got a great card. As a matter of fact, Karina is, but they're just about to close on a house in Stevenson Ranch, and they're so excited. And I've seen pictures of it. It's gorgeous. So this is their big leap forward in home ownership instead of home renting. Yeah, really. Dude, yes. How much you have room for the Schwentz?
Home ownership is a little overrated sometimes, though.
Yes, Lynn.
Where's Stevenson Ranch?
Oh God, you're gonna ask me
Cascade.
direction. It's north of LA. North of LA.
Magic Mountain area?
Magic Mountain. Okay, wherever that is, that's near.
Valencia type thing.
Okay.
Not a clue here. Yeah, I didn't mind that she's moving 30 miles further away. I was like, damn, from 50 to 80, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, I guess we are ready to go. So if you'll open your hymnals to page 27, please, we'll get started. We have our hymn and our talk, and we'll get into our reading from Mr. Craig there. Okay. Seek ye first. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and God's consciousness, and all you need will be added unto you. Sing hallelujah. Do we always listen? No, but we're working on it. We're practicing. So let's just be quiet for a moment and remember that it is the Spirit pouring through us that does all our work for us, that does all the things, makes all the best choices. That's who does the work. So hit it, Russell. And today as we gather together in this circle of light and love that is Heartlight, first and foremost, we bring into our midst all of our friends and family who are in need of healing, who are in need of our love, who are in need of our energy. Bring them into this beautiful circle. And we also acknowledge that it is the power of Spirit within us that can change the world, whether it is our own small world or the world at large. Today we also affirm for the highest and best outcomes for all of those projects and all of those goals that each of us has in mind. We also affirm that we are perfect, whole, and complete just as we are. We do not need to be anything different, and the only place we need to live is the now moment. This is who we are, and this is what we know. And let us say together, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. So ordinarily we would have the reading here, but the reading is going to come a little bit later. I know Craig's really looking forward to it. He was talking to me about his not really liking public speaking.
This isn't public.
I'm going to say this is family, you know? Really.
We're sitting on the couch.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to get right into part 3 of our series, and our series is about staying awake. Everybody wake up, stay awake. Last week we talked about training your inner guru. Why? Because you don't need to go find a guru. You have one, and you carry that guru with you. We also know that one of the aspects of being a guru is patience. How many of you are patient? How many of you are patient on occasion? How many of you are never patient? Okay, we have 2 votes right there. I kind of knew that. I saw that one coming. Well, the thing we have to get in our mind when we're feeling impatient is this, is that everything happens in God's time. I don't mean some person out there, I mean in here. The spiritual self knows when it's time for something to come to fruition. And this morning, as a matter of fact, Craig was saying, well, we found the perfect house, and then the guy said it was rented. And I said, but my conclusion from that is it wasn't the perfect house. Because the perfect house will be available exactly when you need it and where you need it. Does that make sense? You remember the saying, don't push a rope? Yeah. How many of you try to push a rope? It really doesn't work, right? It just kind of gets all snarled up. So don't push the rope. We don't always remember. We think, we affirm, we see it, we say, I'm visualizing it, it's got to be, and we get impatient. And as I said last week, in the back of our minds is this thing about, could we just skip to the good parts? Could we skip the waiting? Could we skip the process? Could we skip all the things that are hard and get to the good parts? Which is perfectly human. I don't know if you, those of us who can remember childhood, it's been a while. Do you remember how long it took for Christmas to come? You waited an infinity, right? Or your birthday. Oh my gosh, it was eons between birthdays. Have you noticed as we get older, time seems to be passing a little more quickly? We are almost to the halfway point of 2018, and I feel like we just started it. So we expect our evolution to go fast, and the fact is our evolution is going to go exactly as fast as it needs to go. And if we can be patient, we can avoid things like headaches, stomach aches, upsetness in general, by just being calm, being peaceful, and saying, you know what, it's all coming out right. And I don't have to do it all myself. So, and the wiser we get a little more patient with the whole timetable, but we keep our enthusiasm. Unlike, as I said last week, the young Luke Skywalker or the Karate Kid, we are willing to let life unfold. Okay, so when he says paint the fence, we'll paint the fence. When he says wax on, wax off, we'll wax on, wax off. Okay, without being annoyed, because we know it's okay. We heed the advice that Yogananda's teacher gave him when he said, stop chasing God. Stop trying to catch God, because you are already here. The person you need to consult is already here. Like Dorothy, the famous Dorothy, we figured out that there's no place like home. And home lives right here. Okay? Home is where your heart is, literally. So today we move on in our series to the idea of reverse the thought. How many of you had a negative thought this week? How many of you, when you had the negative thought, noticed that you were having it? Okay, all right. How many of you at that point said, I need to reverse this thought? Okay, all right. So we'll explore a little more from Paramahansa Yogananda's spiritual path. He tells a story of his early life in his autobiography. And one day early in his training, his guru, Sri Yukteswar, why these names are so hard? Sri Yukteswar said to him, you are far too thin. And he became very self-conscious. He was a young man, because he had been a very sickly child and often found it hard to gain weight. His parents had tried medicines and tonics, and all without much success. So when his guru, his honored teacher, said this to him, he feels he must explain about, well, I had this childhood illness, and on and on. And his teacher says, medicines have limitations. Medicines have limitations. The divine creative life force has no limitations. Believe that you shall be well and strong. Of course, imagine you're a young person about the age of our teens here. Because he was very young, and he says, no, that can't be. No other healer, he wrote, and I had tried a lot, had asked that I have such faith. So he says, day by day I waxed in health and strength, and by receiving this hidden blessing, in 2 weeks I gained the weight that I had sought for so long, and my stomach ailments ceased. Now when we hear the story and the words of his teacher, we realize, I'm sure, that the words he spoke were these: believe that you shall be well and strong. Do you recognize the energy of that from the New Testament? What did Jesus say to the two blind men? He said, do you believe that you will be made whole? And they said, yes. And he didn't say, I make you whole. He said, then by your faith you are made whole. And they could see. He didn't say, I did it. So it is hardly a novel idea that our thoughts can heal us. So it's interesting that Yogananda's first reaction, and I'm sure we've all done this, well, it's easy for you to say, isn't it? You know all this crap. Well, he didn't say quite that, but he probably said something like that. He says, you don't know what it's like. We all feel that way sometimes. Have you ever thought no one knows how you feel? No one knows how your life feels. No one knows what it feels to be you. Well, yes, the universe does know, okay? And I heard this very interesting comment. Oh, actually, it was part of a song, and you've heard it before. There's God being me and being you. And it's from I Know Why the Sufis Whirl. That's something that Deborah used to sing for us. God being me and God being you. It's the same God. It's not a different one. So we want to have faith, we want to believe, we want to heal ourselves, but we want to say, but you don't understand how serious this is. This is way too serious to be healed by some silly prayer. Really? You want to say to these people who teach this, so you're just theorizing, right? Well, you know, his teacher had his feeling that he was being a little unbelieving, a little skeptical. So he decided he would tell Yogananda a little personal history of his own learning from his guru. The young Sri Yukteswar was very ill, and he goes to his guru and says, "Sir, I am very sick. I have lost many pounds." His guru's and the teacher's response was, "I see. You've made yourself unwell, and now you think you are too thin." And he's somewhat dumbfounded. He says, "I didn't say I think I'm thin. I said that I'm sick, and I've been sick for a while," but his guru had nothing more to say on the subject. After some thought, however, he came to think that his guru was probably hinting that he would secretly heal his ailing student. And surely a powerful teacher could do just that. So it was no surprise to this young man when the next morning he gets up and he rushes to tell his teacher, "I feel so much better. I want to eat. I'm happy." And the guru smiled enigmatically. That's how a guru smile. He said, "So today you invigorate yourself." At which the young man protests. He goes, "No, it is you, master. You who have helped me. This is the first time in weeks I've had energy. It is you." And his guru responds, "Yes, your malady has been quite serious. Your body is frail. Who can say how it will be tomorrow?" Now what did that mean? The story continues. "Just the thought of a possible return of my illness brought me a shudder of cold fear. The following morning I could barely drag myself to my teacher's house. And I told him, 'Sir, I am ailing again.' My guru's glance was quizzical. He says, 'So, once more you indispose yourself.' Hearing those words, my patience was exhausted, and I said to him, 'Sir, I realize now that day by day you have been ridiculing me. I don't understand why you don't believe my truthful reports about how I feel.' Now, of course, we know what's happening, right? It's in his thoughts. In both situations, there was a strong thought coupled with emotions. There's fear. Fear is very powerful. And so he made himself ill again. But these two had to learn this powerful lesson. That's why the first thing his teacher says is, 'Oh, I see you've made yourself unwell.' Which we are all disposed to resent, by the way. If someone says that, you go, I am not. I did not. I think about it. And then the teacher says, 'Well, your malady has been very serious. You do look frail.' And he begins to fear. Okay? That cold shudder of fear. He's just trying to point Yukteswar in the direction of his own power. So after Yukteswar complains of being disrespected, his teacher says this, 'It has been your thoughts that have made you feel alternately weak or strong.' So let me ask you, what feels better, to feel weak or strong? Strong. Okay, I think it does too. And he says it very kindly. He says, 'You have seen how your health has exactly followed your subconscious expectations.' He goes on to say, and keep in mind, this is a very, very long time ago, before, when New Thought was just a glimmer in Ernest Holmes' eye. He said, 'Thought is a force, even as electricity or gravitation. The human mind is a spark of the almighty consciousness of God, and I can show you that whatever your powerful mind believes intensely will instantly come to pass.' So, what do you want to believe? Do you want to walk around every day saying, 'Woe is me, poor, poor, pitiful me. I have nothing. All I have is problems. All I have is challenges. Why me? Why me, Lord?' Or you could walk around with an open heart and an open mind saying, 'Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me where to go. Show me what to do. Show me what you need me to do next.' because I want to live in joy. I want to live in peace. I want to live in tranquility. And the fact is, some people will not let us live in tranquility. Some people are quite determined that we shall not have tranquility if they can't have it too. And since they don't have it, they would like us to join them in the non-peaceful arena. So what do? Do we say, out, out, damn spot? You know, do we do a little Shakespeare? What do? What do you think we do? We stay who we are. And if that person does not want to join us in our peace, we can let them move along on their way. Let them move on their way. Because we don't need that. Besides, what are the odds of you changing that person? Zero. Yes, I hear zero. Possibly it's a negative number. There is no way to change a person. I don't care who they are. I don't care what age they are. I don't care if they're a friend or a family member. You cannot change them. You can, however, allow their anger, their fear, their bitterness, their unhappiness to destroy yours. Or you can say, I choose love. I choose peace. I choose to be who I am. So Yukteswar found that this teaching was true, and this is what's interesting, he gained all the weight he needed to gain to look and feel healthy in one day. One day. He woke up, his body had changed. Now, we know that ancient masters are able to control their bodies, they're able to do whatever it is they need to do. If you've ever seen pictures of those who are in the Himalayas, you'll know they can levitate, they can float off the ground, they can sit in the snow half naked and not be cold, which is kind of unusual. So, what he said was that he had finally come to be awake in God. I'm awake in God. He was truly aware of his unity with the divine dreamer. How many of you know that everything around us is an illusion? Oh yeah, Paul really knows. And when I say that, I don't mean that you should say, poof, it's gone. What I mean is, it's something you can change all the time. You can change your attitude, you can change your thought. There are a lot of subtle laws that rule consciousness. And by the way, they are knowable through the science of yoga, which reminds me, where's Rich? Don't know. Oh, that's right, he's doing a yoga training, yeah. He says, all of life is a vibration, it is moving, it is not solid. You all know that this stool right here is not solid, right? It's molecules, they're moving very slowly. They're moving so slowly we can't see the movement, so we think it is solid. We think of it as solid and we do sit on it. If it weren't solid, we'd fall down when we sat on it. So we have to believe that that's a stool and that will hold us up. The universe changes every single second. There's now, and now there's now, and now here's another now. I can't fix anything in those last two, and I can't predict what's going to happen in the next two, well, I'll probably still be talking. But generally speaking, I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. We possess the power to change anything we wish to change. Okay, except other people. Except other people. So, you all heard Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Greg Braden, Ernest Holmes, great teachers. Any of them, of these teachers who have touched our lives, they've taught us a lot. But it doesn't mean a damn thing until we believe it. It's just writing in a book. You can read 1,000 books. 1,000 books. If you don't believe it, you don't use it. You can affirm until you turn blue in the face. No results. So Yogananda explains that at one point that there is a knowingness you must nurture and claim. You must walk through the world knowing your power. As clearly as you know your name. Okay? You must be confident of your ability to change the world, as confident as you are of your heart beating. Did you have to tell your heart to beat? I don't think so. Did you have to say, okay, lungs, breathe, it's time? I don't think so. Did you have to say, okay, blood, start circulating? I don't think so. Life is doing all that for you. It's your partner, all the time. And if it didn't do all those things, you would not be walking around, believe me. So you don't have to overanalyze your biology. How about you don't overanalyze life and make it harder? Our ability to create rests on one simple belief, and this is it. We are made in the image and likeness of God. You can find that written in so many places. In the image and likeness of God. We can bring light to the darkness. We can bring love where there is fear. We can listen to the negative thoughts and we can say, whoa, thought, stop. I need to reverse this and declare what is actually true. So why would you ever want to feel powerless? Anybody here felt powerless in a job, in a situation at some point where somebody else seemed to be in charge of your life? Is that a good feeling? Not even a little bit. Okay? That's why people, I know why Glenn started his own business, because he was tired of being at the beck and call of another person and knew that you could do all of your skills and your talents for yourself. That's saying, I claim my power. That's a great example of claiming power. The difficulty for most of us is believing wholeheartedly, without exception, that every single thing we do in life is a choice. Because lots of people will say, I had no choice. That is untrue. You always have a choice. There isn't a single genuine teacher in the world who would contradict that. One of those teachers is Abraham Hicks. We read the book in Tuesdays with Spirit, Ask and It Is Given. He says, you have creative control of your experience. You're the director. This is the script that you're writing. There is no condition so severe that you cannot reverse it by choosing a different thought about it. He says, however, choosing different thoughts requires focus and practice. Remember, we've talked about that idea. Practice, practice, practice. Every single time a negative thought comes up, reverse it. Reverse it. Reverse it. Even if it's the very next thought, reverse it until we don't have to do any reversing because we're not thinking negative thoughts. Focus and practice. Consistency is everything. And what I've noticed, and it's true of myself as well as much as anybody, we leave here, we leave Sunday celebration, all fired up. I got this. I got this. I'm ready. Okay, we're ready to change the world one piece at a time, and yeah, then the week goes on. The week goes on and the house doesn't show up that we want. And we get distracted and we hear the news and we hear about tragedies and we see people being totally unconscious and demonstrating that unconsciousness with cruelty and anger, and we forget to practice. So by Wednesday or Thursday, we're back in the old thoughts. We're focusing on what's wrong with my life and not what's right with my life. So I'm suggesting or asking that you not do that. One of the best examples of what I'm talking about is a video game. Now this will only be meaningful to 2 people in the room. Well, actually, I guess we'll include Russell as well. But I'm going to ask the rest of you to bear with me, okay? You are not the character, and I'm talking about those role-playing games. You're not the character running around on the screen, right? You know that.
Yeah.
You're just, it's not, that avatar is not you, not the real you, okay? You are the self, you are the presence, you are the soul. You're holding the gamepad or the joystick or whatever it is you use. I have no idea. I was in a store some years ago, I think a Micro Center, and I saw a game, and I thought, oh, I'd like to play that. And I picked up the pad and accomplished absolutely nothing, and an 8-year-old came over and said, hey lady, do you want to, I'll show you how to do that. And he proceeded to play the game. So I said, no, I think I'll just leave now. I'll quit while I'm ahead. So when you have that gamepad or that joystick, what do? You say, I'll go here, I'll go there, I'll make this choice, I'll open that door. Whatever you do, the screen changes as soon as you do it. Did you know that that image is based on 3 things that you're looking at? The computer's software and hardware produces images at 60 frames per second, based on 2 things: what the last screen looked like and what has changed. You have done something. You have moved the gamepad. You have moved the joystick. Okay? And it rests on the laws of physics in that universe, because a game designer can make pretty much anything, right? I mean, how many of you have seen games you can fly, right? You can levitate, you can disappear, you can dematerialize. How many of you have done that in real life? Probably not. But you decide what changes. The programmers who built this game for you did not tell you what to do. As a matter of fact, game designers often say they're amazed at how some players come up with entirely new ways to use the game or things to do in the game that they had not envisioned. Okay? These game designers have provided an environment and the opportunity to practice choosing. Well, guess what, guys? Big video game. Big video game. Are we going to let our souls decide for us, or our egos? Okay? We get to choose what we will allow to fade away and what our next screen is going to look like. If we don't believe it, we just sit there helplessly, going along on cruise control until we hear the phrase, game over. Game over. I don't like that. I don't like that idea. I like to be playing the game. I like to be enjoying it. Like Florence Scovel Shinn says, the game of life and how to play it. It is a game. There are rules, and you can play it, and you can be happy while you're playing it. So when you look at a picture and you say, what do I want to change about this picture? It's like looking at your living room and wanting to do decorating and saying, you know what, that lamp is not right. It's not going. It's just not right. I've seen how people like Jackie decorate, and she works at it until it all has a great harmony and looks good. But don't you do that, Jackie? Don't you stand back and look at something and go, no, that's not it. So we ask ourselves, what do I want to change about this picture? So I ask you, look at your life. Look at the screen. You're holding the gamepad. What do you want to change? Would you like to be happy? Would you like to be at peace? Would you like to be content? Would you like everything to flow into your life easily? That's what you can choose. So when we do that, we focus, we practice, and we create beauty, not ugliness, wherever we go. Namaste.
Something that happened to me this week that made me feel real good. If you listen, that little voice. Excuse me. There's a gentleman that has a dog, and you know I have my Ricky. He's a little buzz bomb, so he needs to have it run down the dog run instead of just the dog park. So I take him out, and this was in the morning, and there is a gentleman that, bless him, I have never seen him smile. And he is very disabled, and he brings his dog down with his walker, and it's a struggle for him, and I see it. So, and he's chewed me out a number of times because of Ricky being loosened, not on the leash, blah, blah, blah. So, the other morning when I'm down there, he's just got his dog and he's limping across the street with the stroller, the walker. And I wanted to talk to 3 other friends of mine that were there, so I didn't immediately take off like I normally do. So I waited, and he put the dog in the car, and he started back across the street, and I thought, here I go, I'm going to get another chewing out, but I'm going to stay. So he got across the street, and for something, just said to me, go over there. So I went over, and sure enough, he was holding on to his poop bag. So he was coming back across the street, struggling to get to the poop pot, and so I rushed up to him, and I had mine, and I said, here, let me take that from you. I'll take it to the poop pot, and that way it's such a struggle for you. And he stopped, and he looked at me. He didn't smile, but he said, thank you. Oh. And it was really, but something that I'm prepared to get chewed out. And so I'm going to go for it, and he did, because it wouldn't have mattered if he stood there and chewed me out. It was still the right thing to do.
Thank you. There's nothing. There's nothing like doing the right thing. Would you bring me my water? And by the way, Jackie, I know what your shirt says. A picture of a rat and an ass. I don't give a rat's ass, okay?
My mouth has become even less filtered.
Oh, that's a scary thought. That is way scary. Okay, I would like someone to please lead the affirmation before we move into the next part of our service. So, who's up for it? Anybody? Oh, here comes Susan. Okay. Come on up, girly girl. Saddleback Chapel it's still Tustin, right, or is it Santa Ana? It's very near here. I will give directions. It's 10 minutes away.
I'll follow some.
Yeah.
Okay, affirmation. Ready? Today I give thanks for all the mothering I have received in my life. I have been loved and nurtured by spirit in human form, and I pass on this blessing each and every day to all those in need of my love, kindness, and understanding. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And now comes the moment, Mr. Craig. Let's give him a hand and encourage him again. Dude, he's taller than I think. One day, somewhere in space, in time and space, a place that some may think of as heaven, a little baby said to God, "Hey, I'm kind of scared. Don't really know if I want to go down there. From here it looks like a little blue ball, but it's a great big place and I'm so small. So why can't I just stay here with you? I don't understand. Don't you want me to?" And God said, "Oh child, of course I do, but there's somebody special waiting for you. You'll never have a better friend or a warmer touch to tuck you in. She'll kiss your bruises, your bumps and scrapes, and anytime you hurt, her heart's gonna break. Now just remember, when she's talking to you, make sure you listen close, because she's gonna teach you everything you'll need to know, like how to mind your manners, how to love and laugh and dream, and she'll put you on the path that'll bring you back to me. For now though, child, it's time for you to go and meet someone who will love you more than you know." That was very well read.
Yes, it was.
Yes, with inflections in all the right places and good dialogue skills. It is. Yeah, I was going to say, just believe in yourself, okay? I know you had to stand up in class, haven't you? Yes, but if it wasn't your absolute favorite thing. Okay. Okay. Make sure I can hear those chords. Little baby told God, "I'm kinda scared. Don't really know if I wanna go down there. From here it looks like a little ball, but it's a great big place, and I'm so small. Why can't I just stay here with you? Don't understand, don't you want me to?" And God said, "Oh child, of course I do. But there's somebody special and she's waiting for you. Hush now baby, don't you cry, 'cause there's someone down there waiting whose only goal in life is making sure you're always gonna be alright. A loving angel, tender, tough and strong. It's almost time to go and meet your mom." You'll never have a better friend or a warmer touch to tuck you in. She'll kiss your bruises, your bumps and scrapes, and anytime you hurt, her heart's gonna break. Hush now, baby, everything you need to know, like how to mind your manners, how to love and laugh and dream, and she'll put you on the path that brings you back to me. Hush now, baby, don't you cry, 'cause there's someone down there waiting whose only goal in life is making sure you're always gonna be alright. A loving angel, tender, tough and strong. So go on, child, it's time to meet your mom. That's I love how hard that we kind of do traditions, and now we did this for the first time last year, so that's our new Mother's Day tradition. So that song, by the way, is Garth Brooks. So yeah, Garth Brooks did that for his mom, and I think it's great. I think all singers should write a song for their mom. I heard just on a show, I can't remember quite what it was, but it was a young woman who just got pregnant. She's telling a friend, she says, you know, being a mother is hard. If it was easy, fathers would want to do it. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. So, could I have my ushers here, please? And as you hold your tithes, your gifts, your love offerings close to your hearts, please say with me the Heartlight offering affirmation. I gladly share my overflowing abundance with the community that nurtures my heart and soul. And I thank you for your gifts and most of all for your incredibly beautiful presence. And let us say together, and so it is. Amen. And let me add to that comment about moms. Lynn just pointed out to me one of the quotes. In case you had not seen it, I'm going to read it outside for you, out loud for you young people. If at first you don't succeed, try doing it the way your mother told you to do it in the first place. Something to keep in mind. Okay, let's just be quiet for a moment. And once again, let us call into this beautiful chapel and this beautiful gathering our family, our friends, all those in need of healing, so that we send them our healing energy, our love, our compassion. We are powerful beyond measure. As we go forth today into the world, we will see opportunities to touch people's lives, and we will do so. We will touch those lives with love and understanding and empathy. We will make a difference